father and my grandmother. And so ultimately, children are so unaware at times. They're unaware of their own strengths, they're unaware of their own weaknesses, they're unaware that ultimately our thoughts become our actions. And so they are little sponges, especially because they are looking to the adults to be able to tell them how to react, how to essentially navigate this world. That is our duty, to be able to teach them to be capable adults, to be able to be adults who know what they're capable of, know what their weaknesses are, and know how they can improve and keep working on improving day by day. And so ultimately, children borrow confidence from adults. They borrow confidence in how adults speak to them, how adults interact with them, how adults interact with other people, whether they're bullies or whether they're kind people or they're people that encourage others. And then we think about the idea of the people who encouraged us, the people who loved us. Those are the people who leave imprints on our heart long after they're gone. And I lost my grandfather on May 29th. I miss him greatly. And in going through some of the things to try to prepare for sale and things like that, I did find that he had kept all the calendars that I made of my children. He kept all my cards. He dated them. He dated pretty much everyone's cards. He loved cards. He was a real softy. He was born in the late 30s. However, he was much more progressive, I think, in some ways, as far as, he encouraged me to be an attorney. He believed in me. He put his money where his mouth was. He literally, truly loved me, and I loved him, and we had an honest relationship. And he would let me talk about things that I was upset about and listen to me and try to guide me. And we had a mutual level of respect, which I think is extremely important. I remember one time him calling me up because he had heard on the news that this man said that women lawyers would never be as good as male lawyers. And he was very upset by that. And he wanted to let me know that he did not agree with that. And so ultimately, children become what they're repeatedly told. So if they're told that they're capable, that they're smart, that they're intelligent, they're going to believe that. That is going to be a neural pathway that is well tread. If they're told that they're useless, if they're told they're stupid, any number of things, that they're terrible people, that they'll never amount to anything, then it's likely that they may have issues with that and self-esteem. And that's the worst thing you can do, is to tear a child down and try to make them feel like they're less than. Um, and so ultimately, love shapes our identity because we become what people tell us that we are. If we're taught that we're good, if we're taught that we're polite, if we're taught that, we mean something to people and that we're kind, that is what we're going to try to live to be. It's called the self actualization theory, essentially. You become what you believe you're going to be. And there is hidden power in being believed in, because there are so many people who like to essentially burst others' balloons or take away their joy or take away their breath or take away this or knock them down, right? It's so easy to knock people down. As Taylor Swift would say, people like to throw rocks at things that shine. So if you shine, you will have people who will come after you, who might not understand you, who might be jealous, who might be envious, any number of things. Keep shining. So who believed in you before you believed in yourself? Feel free to answer that. And then part 2, why some people feel like home. Some people aren't places, they're home. They offer emotional safety, which is what my grandfather offered to me. He offered me emotional safety. He offered me encouragement. He offered me tips on how to be mentally strong and, in my mind, to make up my mind on things, because he was very, very strong. He was one of the strongest men that I knew mentally. And as well as letting kids know and letting people know that they belong, because that's extremely important as well. And certain people calm our nervous system because they don't spike it, they don't rise it, they just let us be who we are unapologetically. And that is so, so important, right? And there's a difference between being tolerated and being loved. And I know beyond a reasonable doubt that I was loved. mean, he wrote my name in my when I was sworn into the bar because my name wasn't on there. He kept the book where I graduated from, law school, the little pamphlet. He kept all the calendars. He kept all the cards. He did all of that because he cared. He kept photos. He just was a really, really great person, and I will miss him, and my kids will miss him because he was a big part of our lives. And so ultimately, you carry people with you after a loss, and they become woven into who you are and will always be there with you. So, who has always felt like home to you? Feel free to answer below, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and hopefully you'll come back and see me again soon. If you're interested in my podcast, it's recovering_perfectionist_mama, Grace in Progress is a psychology channel, and then Grace and Gavel, where truth meets compassion, is a true crime channel. So feel free to check that out. If you got value in this, please feel free to like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it, and hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.